Hey. Jason Rice here with Lot Pop, another Lot Party quick tip. And here's what we got going on. Again, I am going to try to take a peek at this as we're going live through Facebook. I'm doing two different things. So we're going to try to stay in touch. Anybody jumping on here? I see David White, a couple people joining in. So here we go. Again, I think it was beginning of June where we started seeing sales drop off a little bit, maybe end of May. We started seeing sales drop off in a lot of markets, and then everything picked back up again. It's kind of weird how that all flows. Hey, what's up, Art? Good to see you on Arte. What's up, buddy? And so starting to see a little bit of slowdown with a lot of our stores too, just their volume and stuff. And I'm not talking about everybody. I'm just giving you a little heads up of what we're seeing. A little bit of a slowdown in sales. I've noticed some posts on like the used car manager group that I belong to. Also seen a downtick of sales, or someone was asking, even though a lot of people are having record months, a lot of people's June is going to be a record month. And again, I do believe it's a hangover from mid-February to mid-April. So 60 days is the typical uptick in used car sales every year. We didn't have that February, March, April this year. So it happened in June, May and June. And so I believe, especially about mid-July, we're going to start seeing the drop-off. I think you're already starting to see it. We got holidays. We've got some states backing up their opening. I don't believe, and this is obviously nothing I'm an expert in, I don't believe they're going to shut down the economy again, but I do think the regulations are going to come in. Come Friday in Kansas here, we have to wear masks if we're out in public places, I should say, and they're starting to regulate restaurants and stuff and bars at other areas. Matter of fact, we're supposed to go on a little vacation driving trip to Gulf Shores, but we canceled that because it's a 14-day quarantine coming back. So there are going to be some regulations happening, and that's another reason why I do think July is going to get softer. So it's the end of the month, but here are things that you're going to want for next month. A couple things that I've seen is everybody with their May and June record months have had an abundance of leads come in that, guess what, haven't been paid attention to because we're paying attention to low-hanging fruits, the customers that are willing to come in and buy the car now. And you might get 4, 5, 10 leads on one car, and you sell that one car to one customer. No one's following up with those leads anymore because that car's sold. But that person could still be active, still looking for another vehicle. And especially when it comes to used cars, they have to buy something else, either a different color, more or less miles, more or less equipment, or a different make or model altogether. So why not work those leads for cars that you have in inventory? So make sure that you're following up with these leads, because that's what you're going to need next month. I believe, again, if this slowdown and shutdowns happening, one, I think the sales are just going to naturally slow down. But two, with all this COVID and more shutdowns in a lot of places, people are going to get hesitant to spend the money. I also believe, I'm not 100% sure, I've seen headlines or people comment before that I think the extra $600 a month was supposed to end in July, not 100%. But again, I think we're going to naturally see a little bit of a slowdown in sales, and with COVID stuff too. And three, these leads that you have in the last May and June that are still out there active and haven't bought yet, you're going to want for July. You're going to want to make sure you're working those leads to get them in the door. So that's the title of this. This is what you're going to want to get going into next month, is getting these people in the door, because you might not be getting as many leads as you were in previous months. All speculations here. Every market's going to be different depending on how they phased in and out of this whole COVID thing. If it's a town that's been locked up quite a bit and they only been open for the last month, then your business still might be strong over the next month too. But if it's a business and you're in a market that you've been open for a couple months now, May and June, and maybe a little bit of April, and really didn't get shut down a lot, we're seeing those sales starting to shrink and starting to get tighter and start slowing down. So what you're going to want for next month, you need to start working these leads. You need to start making sure, even if the vehicle's sold, try to put people on something else that you have in stock, and don't give up on those leads unless they told you they already bought. And then you're going to want to make sure if the cars that are still in stock and all these leads that you're having, don't let those leads pass by because of the fact you don't have time to follow up with them because you're having a lot of traffic as it is. Those people end up on other cars. We have a thing called, what we do, lot mining. We pull out of like right now, VIN solutions. I can throw it into our system and I can see leads. I mean, that's why I'm bringing this up. I'm seeing 17-day-old leads we haven't called or emailed in 15 days. I'm seeing 11-day-old leads we haven't called or emailed for 11 days. I mean, I'm seeing a ton of leads just sitting there because, again, we're having a record month and we don't have the personnel or manpower to handle those leads because people are coming in. So work those leads. Those are the things that you're going to want for next month, because if things slow down and you're not getting leads, you guys will be scrambling to try to catch up with these people, and it might be too late. So work those leads, work your process. We track what you call activities per lead. We look at how many calls and emails, and I understand text is very important. I'm not putting that to the side. I'm just saying what we can track and trend is looking at how many calls and emails are you doing per lead. You want to sell more cars, talk to more people. People that are doing 18 to 25 activities per lead. Again, what you do is take your total phone calls that are being pushed out, total emails that you're sending out, divide that into how many active leads you have and see how many activities per lead you're doing. Most average stores are doing 8 to 10. Decent stores are going to be doing 10 to 15. Great stores are doing, 15, 18 to 20 plus activities per lead. As we see activities per lead go up, appointments go up, sales and sales go up. Okay, Jim says, do I find stores with BDC departments tend to have better closing ratios and internet leads than stores that use salespeople handle? Okay, so perfect, Jim. Yeah, I mean, matter of fact, I had a dealer yesterday. I posted yesterday. Check out my post yesterday. I gave a screenshot of our lot mining thing that said, what would you do if this was your store? You can see leads, that how old they are, and how, and that particular store I used in that sample has salespeople doing the follow-up. They just spread the leads out through all the salespeople. The problem is salespeople are busy. They see an out on the lot. They're going to go grab it, even though they just got 2 new leads on cars in stock. They're going to go help that customer, and they might have a hat trick for the day, or they might have only had 1 deal, but it's a dealer trade and they got to go get it and come back, and they're tied up and things like that. And that's where these customers are falling through the cracks. Now, I'm not too strong on BDCs. I like hybrids and stuff. Maybe salespeople handle them initially, pass them on to BDCs as BDC as a backup. If the salesperson's too busy, the BDC needs to back them up. Because I'm not big on word. I like word tracked. I don't like scripts. You know what I'm saying? I don't want somebody just trying to go down a script. Customers are going to, I think, feel intimidated by that, or not very comfortable. Not that it doesn't work. I see it work, but I'd much rather have a conversation with the customer, let them lead me, give them the information they want, and use word tracks and put them back into where I want them to head. And again, ultimately, that's appointment and get them in the door and or sell them a car. I sell cars off the internet all the time. If they don't want to come in, that's fine. I'll find ways to do it. So to answer your question, Jim, yes, having somebody that's, and again, when I did it, the only way I could sell a car, I handled internet leads. That's the only way I sold a car, unless I handled overflow for the showroom floor. And that, I think, is the best way to do it, is to have a dedicated internet person that can answer the customer's questions, talk about trade allowances and taxes and leases and things on the phone and emails, and to be able to sell that customer on however way they want to buy it. Especially more important now with this COVID and delivering deals to customers, you got to have somebody that knows the terminology and be able to help them understand the tax between trading a car in and selling it themselves, or the benefits of a lease and down payment and all those things. So I think having a dedicated person that's calls and emails and sells the car to the customer is the best road. BDC there is, to me, if you the terminology business development is there to develop business. I'm getting leads. That's not developing business. It's already coming in. Developing business to me is calling sold customers, service customers, trying to buy, customers' cars, developing business. So that's my insight on that. It's a whole other conversation. I want to kind of keep these short. If you want an inventory evaluation, want to check out our lot mining, especially if you are in VIN Solutions. Again, look at my post. I'll have a link on our website here soon to go over that. But again, lotpop.com. If you like these tips, go to YouTube, subscribe to Lot Pop Inc. And all these tips go on there. There's 250 plus tips over 4 or 5 years. So check that out, Jim. I hope that answered your question. Have a strong finish and a strong week, and good luck in July.